What's going on YouTube? It's Mike here. Today guys, in this video, I'm going to be showing you my iOS 8 hidden features. So the first one is actually within the camera application, so I'll just go in there right now. And it's actually self-timer and time-lapse. So these are two new features. So the first one is self-timer, so I can set it here for 3 seconds, and basically what this does is, as you can see, my flash goes off in the background, and it took 11 pictures there of the best. It'll kind of do what like a burst mode did with the introduction of the iPhone 5S, and so it'll use a self-timer and take as many pictures as possible to get the best one. And then the next feature is actually a feature called time-lapse. Now what this does is basically, let's say you're filming for 2 minutes and you want it to be condensed down in just a few short seconds of movement or progress of something. That's what this actually does. So right here, I'll just start recording. I'll just move my phone around a little bit, and I'll come in here and maybe I'll just chill my mouse a couple of times, you know, do something crazy silly, I don't know, just to give you an idea. So I'll pull away here, and when we actually go back and watch it, I'll hit play. As you can see, it just really fast did exactly what I just did in front of the camera. So, I don't know, it's kind of a cool feature. It's obviously, you know, I just filmed that for a few seconds, but that would be working for like a video that has a lot of motion and you're filming for an extended period of time. But the real question is, how long can you actually go on with filming on your iPhone before you max out your storage? So the next feature is request desktop site, and this actually works via Safari, and this is quite honestly one of my long time favorite features. I wish Apple put this in a very long time ago. Unfortunately, I could never really get this working on my iPhone, but the gist of it pretty much is you're able to request the desktop site of any website. And so previously I would do this in something like Google Chrome for the iPhone or iPad, but now you can actually do it in Safari, and since Google Chrome is broken with the iOS 8 betas, I've been doing it a lot in Safari. I just couldn't get to seem to actually work it for this video, but it is a very cool feature when it does work. So another feature will be great for you battery users or people that really watch their batteries like a lot, people that are crazy about their battery. I have several friends that are, that I can name off the top of my head. But anyway, so you go to general and you go to usage, and there's this new tab here called battery usage, and in depth this literally tells you everything you need to know about what your battery is using. So as you can see, Tweetbot takes up about 41% of my battery. As a matter of fact, I'm on 17% battery now, so that shows you just how much I'm using my phone. Also, iOS 8 battery is horrible, but it'll show me what apps are actually taking up the most and the processes that are taking up the most during usage, battery usage. And as you can see, I don't know why Tweetbot is at 41%. That is way too much. It's basically showing me the last 7 days overall since I've been on Clash of Clans so much. That took up over 12% the last couple days. And you come here and it'll tell you the last 24 hours which apps I use. You know, some apps use background activity. For example, Foursquare, I didn't even open it over the last 24 hours, and it used 5% of my battery just for background activity depending on where I am. Another really cool feature is where you can now actually set where messages can be erased. Now this is in through settings, and so basically here you navigate to the messages portion of settings. I just kind of have it scrolled up because otherwise it would show my phone number, but basically there you can see store messages, and so I'll click on it and I can choose if I want to save messages for up to 30 days or 1 year, and then it will actually delete them. So I mean, it's just simple as that. You just select when you want them to start being deleted, 30 days, a year, or just store them forever, or manually delete them whenever you want to. So another really cool feature is actually within the weather app. As you can see here, I have Anaheim for the weather. I'll be in Anaheim in just about a week for VidCon. I can't wait. But anyways, so I'll just scroll down here and you can actually see just how much more information is now provided in the weather app. Now this could probably be because Apple no longer uses Yahoo to display the weather. They instead reverted to the weather channel. So you can see here, I got stuff like sunrise, wind, chance of rain, what it feels like, air pressure, pretty much everything. I don't even know if I'd want to know that much, to be honest with you, but it's kind of cool that you could get that extra information now. So as a lot of you know, when you get notifications now on your iPhone, you can now quick reply, and you can do this simply by swiping down and actually getting to your messages, and I could simply go here and I could just quick reply. And so I'll just say, for example, okay to that message, and I'll say okay to this one. So this was a feature that I went over already, and this is a feature that Apple talked about. So there's actually a cooler way to actually do quick reply where you can just do it right from the phone without ever having to swipe down or anything like that. Basically, just go off to settings and navigate to notifications, go right to messages, and right here you'd want to switch to alerts. So once you switch it to alerts now, when you actually receive the notifications, you'll get them right in the middle of your screen, interrupting whatever you have going on, which personally I don't like, but it'll interrupt whatever you have going on, and from right there you can type a quick reply. And it's kind of a lot like something similar to Byte SMS, which is a jailbreak tweak available in Cydia. If you enjoyed the quick reply experience where you actually have the banners in the middle versus the top, then I recommend using that setting. So another really cool feature is Siri now Shazams, and if that makes any sense to you, pretty much Siri can pick up on any song that you're playing. And so right there, it showed me that was California Love. Obviously, you know, that's one of my favorite songs ever. So it showed me exactly what it is, and I can actually click buy, and I could go right to iTunes and right away go ahead and purchase that track. Very simple. So another really cool feature is called Hey Siri. Now, pretty much the way this works is you actually say, Hey Siri, and while your iPhone is plugged in charging, it will pick up and you can actually start talking to Siri. So just to give you an idea, even though my charger's all the way over here, I can't really stretch it, I'll just say, Hey Siri. And you can see just like that, Siri begins to listen. Very simple. And obviously I have to be charging my device. I kind of wish you didn't have to actually be charging your device in order to get Siri to respond. But so, you know, maybe it figures it's like across the room and you need to ask a question. You don't feel like getting up, it's charging or something, you know, something like that. So it just figures it's probably easier and more battery life consuming. If it's unplugged, it's more battery life consuming, and it's easier that it won't consume as much battery life if it's plugged in and it's already charging. So another really cool feature is you can now swipe to dismiss notifications. So I have this one from Clash of Clans here, and I could just swipe like this and I can actually dismiss it. I don't have to hit those little X's anymore. And if, let's say, I had 5 individual notifications from Clash of Clans, a couple from Twitter, I can actually individually dismiss them. I don't just have to hit the X in the top and clear all of them. I can dismiss my own notifications that I want, and I can leave others up there if I want to as well. Here's a really cool feature that I've been waiting for a long time. Well, all these features are cool, I guess, but pretty much now you can adjust the exposure in camera. So basically, I'll just focus on this little Energy Star sticker right here on my monitor. And so as soon as I focus on that, you can see this little sunlight thing. And if I actually move it down, as you can see, I can adjust just how bright the background is behind the object or around the object. You can see as I do that, it slowly moves up and down as I'm grabbing this little button here. And this is actually very useful. So if you're in a picture with really dark light, like sometimes that's the case if you're taking pictures in front of people, like if they're in front of the sun and you're on the exact opposite side, like what you're taking the picture of, sometimes it could come out really bad and really dark. So with this, you can actually adjust how that exposure works. And it doesn't turn the flash on or anything, it just fixes the photo itself, almost as if you were adding brightness to it right within the camera app. So another feature is where you can actually get location-based lock screen notifications, and the last couple days I've actually been noting this a lot. Since I'm right now in my office and I'm nowhere close to a actual business or corporation, this isn't going to work for you guys to actually see, but basically where the camera grabber is, on the exact opposite side on the left, let's say for example, and this has actually worked for me, so let's say I go near a Wells Fargo, and I have the Wells Fargo app downloaded on my iPhone. As soon as I get near the Wells Fargo, the little Wells Fargo app icon, which is kind of like grayed out, will appear in the bottom left corner. And all I have to do is simply swipe up on the left, kind of like I would with Control Center or the camera grabber, and it will take me right to the Wells Fargo app. And so it's kind of like location based. Now, the other day I was in Walmart, and when I was in Walmart, my phone picked up on the location. And so there was a little App Store type of icon in the bottom. And when I swiped up and I went to the App Store, it took me right to the download page of the Walmart app because it knew that I didn't have the Walmart app, and it advised me to download it since I was in Walmart to figure out deals and stuff. Now, obviously, this isn't a big deal right now since iOS 8 just came out last week for just in beta. However, this will, I guarantee you, this will change something and most likely change the future for location-based with Apple in any type of business. You know, if you're in Starbucks, you could quickly swipe up and order whatever you want and begin paying, and somehow Starbucks can incorporate that too. So it gives a huge opportunity for businesses and a huge type of convenience and advance in technology as well for the customers and the users of, you know, their iPhones or whatever device they're using. So I mean, it's fantastic. I thought it was a really cool feature. Obviously, it doesn't have a lot of use now. I mean, I do when, like, let's say I'm banking or something. There's nothing I can really do with it. I mean, it's convenient that I can access the Wells Fargo app when I'm at Wells Fargo, but there's really no uses. So I think Apple's aiming towards more uses for the future that businesses incorporate into actually being able to do that. So this was a little feature that I figured I'd just throw in. It's really not a big feature, but you can actually now rearrange share sheet icons, and it lets you add or remove. So if you don't know what share sheet is, so this is the share sheet right here. And now basically I can move these icons around if I want to based on what I use. So obviously I use messages the most when I send my friends pictures. I tweet pictures a lot. Sometimes I Facebook pictures, and worst case scenario, I use snail mail and actually email photos. So I can move those around since I really don't mail that much. And if I hit more here, I can actually adjust where I want these myself without having to drag them. And I could even turn some on or off. Obviously, mail and messages are incorporated into the iOS, but something like Facebook and Twitter can be pulled. And I shut off Flickr because I don't even have a Flickr account. So why would I need that there? And the same goes for the bottom controls as well. I can move them around. I could do whatever I want with them. I've already adjusted them to my liking. And I could go to more. Obviously, I can't remove any of them, but I can also manually adjust the order of them as well. So there's just two last features that I want to show you, and it actually combines into one via accessibility. There's an iOS 8 crash there, but anyway, so I'll go general accessibility, and so these are two new features. So one of the first ones is zoom, and this is actually a little bit different, and as you can see, it's like a big magnifying glass, and as you can see, I can just move the magnifying glass here, and you can just see how big things get. And as I move left and right, you can see how it moves the parts of the screen. It's kind of cool, I guess. If you are disabled or something or need things to look bigger, but you don't want to actually, if you will, make the text on the whole iOS bigger, then that'll be useful for you because you'll just be able to have the magnifying glass there whenever you need it. And it's much better than the previous zoom that they had where you double tap or triple tap and it would just be a mess. I remember using it for the first time. It was awful. And you can actually now grayscale iOS entirely. So again, if you are disabled, let's say you're colorblind or something. Wow, first of all, that looks really crazy. I've actually never done that on my iPhone before. But let's say you're colorblind or something. Sometimes colors can be expressed a little bit differently and they look weird to you. So if you have it optimized to yourself, you are in fact colorblind, then the whole iOS will change to black, white, gray, and all other tones of those colors to make it easier for your eye to see, I guess. Obviously, I could not imagine myself colorblind. Thankfully, I'm not, but this is probably what I'd be seeing if I was, and so it makes it a little bit easier for those who are colorblind so they could see things a little bit more correctly for them since the colors just aren't expressed that well. But anyways, guys, that's about it. I'm sure there are hundreds more hidden features that I could sit here all day and UI tweaks that I could show you countlessly for hours, but that's pretty much the biggest ones. I know, there's main features even bigger than this that Apple did actually talk about, but these were the biggest features that were actually hidden that Apple didn't talk about at all at WWDC. Obviously with every iOS, Apple just goes ahead and releases and introduces and brings to the iOS devices too much that they could ever even cover. So it's a pleasure to actually show you guys some of the coolest little tweaks and things that Apple throw in there that are actually hidden. So that's pretty much it. But if you guys like this video, please leave some comments below on your thoughts. Of course, give this video a thumbs up and click the subscribe button below. Be sure to stay tuned later this week. I'm going to be doing my full overview of OS X Yosemite. I just downloaded it on my MacBook Pro, and there's no going back to Mavericks, so I have no choice but to actually do a full overview. So stay tuned for that if you want to see what the new OS X looks like. And yeah, so I'll see you guys in the next video.